Welcome, wrestling fans, the PW Fan. The PW Fan is a pro wrestling podcast created by fans for fans, and we appreciate you joining us for episode 20. I am your host, representing the old school wrestling fan, and your favorite barber, Tim Gilbert.
And I'm your host, the architect of pro wrestling podcast, Andy.
I'm also your host, the No Selling Wrestling Indie Fan, Jeremy.
All right, guys, today what are we going to be covering today? All right. Today we are going to be covering the return of Jon Moxley, Roman Reigns breaking a record, the Royal Rumble predictions, and more. Just a reminder, we are now live on YouTube. Please go to youtube.com and check out the PW Fan. Like and subscribe to our podcast. It would mean so much to us. And for t-shirts, go to prowrestlingtees.com/the PW Fan to get your pocket logo t-shirt. All right, Andy, pass it over to you. Let's get this show started, man.
Before we actually get into the actual shows of the week, a couple things I want to talk about. So last week, I think we mentioned how Mustafa Ali had requested his release. Correct? We covered that, right? I think so.
Yes.
He was denied his release request. So but they won't put him on TV or anything either. So it's kind of weird. That sucks for him. There's I believe a hashtag going on Twitter, Free Ali. So fans want to see him go.
So I'm actually not. I saw this on Twitter, but I'm not current with what was the trying to think of the best way to say this. What was the terms of that? Like, what did he want besides just out of his contract? Did he say anything specific?
I'm not sure. I do know that some argument or things got heated between him and Vince prior to him asking for his release. I don't know if it was.
He also posted that tweet. It was like that, like he wants to do so much more than wrestling or something like that, right?
I think so. It's kind of like been all over the place the past week. Just different posts about it, adding more information to it. But I do know, I think it was a creative idea, and he ended up having a heated argument with Vince, and then that's when he asked for his release. But they denied it, so I think he has a little bit left on his contract, a couple of years actually.
A couple of years, just a little.
So that sucks for him. Maybe on the next budget cuts, you never know.
Well, unfortunately, and it's not even the same company, we are going to be talking about other releases and contracts later in the show, but I'll let you continue from here. It's just weird that this seems to be a hot topic this week.
Well, speaking of contracts, Sami Zayn re-signed with WWE.
Yeah.
Did you expect that?
No. Kevin Owens I saw.
No?
I did not expect Sami Zayn to.
Well, I thought because of Owens that he was going to resign as well.
Okay. I mean, that makes a little bit more sense.
These guys are both family guys. It makes sense to me. We already covered a few episodes ago that, Owens, maybe he just is like, you know what, man, I'm making so much money. It's cool. I don't need to be doing like the coolest storyline or whatever. But Sami Zayn, I was a little surprised, but at the same time, like you were saying, Jeremy, they're best buds, so it's like, they probably still want to hang out and do their thing.
See, Kevin Owens, we know or have seen like stuff with his family a lot more than Sami. I knew nothing about Sami Zayn's family, or even if he had one, to be honest. So,
well, I guess I am kind of surprised with Sami just because of like his I wouldn't say like political stances, but I guess like him not going to Saudi Arabia and not agreeing with how WWE really does business at all. So that's kind of the surprise part.
I'm just going to lay it out there. I mean, we'll be talking about it later once we get into AEW, but AEW's roster is too bloated. They got to trim the fat, and they're going to. I mean, we've all read what we've read. There's a bunch of people that, unfortunately, Tony Khan has been super nice about not firing people. It's been like 3 years. He's kind of kept everybody who's ever been there. I think it's about time, because that's awful. I don't want to hear anybody losing their job. It's scary as hell. But
it's one thing to like sorry, just to say this quick.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Just like it's one thing to not renew someone's contract, like honor it the whole way out, and then not renew them, like you did with a lot of other people so far, rather than just like cutting them years before it's over.
Well, yeah, that's weird, and I don't even understand how that works. Like Vince is like holds people accountable to these contracts and these no compete clauses, but anytime he decides he's like, "Oh, I don't need you anymore," then it's all good. As an independent contractor myself and somebody who does a 1099, it actually makes like 0 sense to me, but whatever. That's,
Now,
they play the game that they need to play to work for the big company.
with Tony Khan, he hasn't really thrown out like super long-term contracts, has he? I feel like a lot of these contracts, especially with like some of the new stars, he does like a couple months or maybe a year, and then like.
What about like Jericho?
I mean, that was a long term. I think at the beginning, like the big stars, but I think like some of the unknown names, like. I mean, we'll get into if you want to talk about AEW contracts, we can get into it in a little while. But
Joey Janela got that 3-year contract, and I think a bunch of them had 3 years at first, just for like the start of the company.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I just feel like some people like did short-term deals, like maybe I'll come in for a couple months or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like Leo Rush. Like he's gonna be.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. I mean, did you guys want to get into, speaking of contracts, did you want to talk about the AEW contract stuff?
Well, I mean, since we're on it, like, we'll pivot a little bit. Like, we'll stick to the format, but yeah, let's just jump into this stuff. We're already talking about it.
So, what have you guys heard, I guess, about AEW contracts? I saw Peter Avalon, Joey Janela,
Leo Rush.
Leo Rush.
But come on, we're all thinking the same thing about the Leo Rush one.
And what's that?
I called this shit from the beginning.
Is he retiring for a fourth time?
He's a dork. And he yelled at his boss on Twitter and tried to publicly humiliate him. And dude,
he did?
This is what happened.
What'd he say?
When the whole thing happened with the Big Swole.
Dude,
he demanded. You must have missed it. He demanded. Yeah. He said, "Tony Khan, apologize," in all caps. I was like, "Bro, this is your boss."
Oh, he was coming to like Big Swole's aid or side.
Yeah, but look, it's a different fight for a different day. Like, I kind of agree that was like out of pocket to say something about Big Swole when you did say that she was a good wrestler, and then at the end be like, "Rampage tonight." I'm like, okay, that's not cool. Don't do that. But anyway, that's not the point. But what I'm saying is like, you can't yell at your boss in a public forum and then expect like he's gonna be excited to renew your contract. Yeah. I'm sorry, that's just the real world, man.
Yeah, maybe if he had gone to him like not in a public setting.
I'm sure one-on-one. I'm sure they have a respect for each, right? And I'm sure they have. I'm sure they come to. But dude, Leo Rush is like, what was his contract? 3 months.
That's what I was saying about the short term, though. Like, there's some people that are like really short, like less than a year, and then others that are like maybe only a year, and then.
Well, honestly, that's the best way to go because look, if it doesn't work out for somebody, I get what Tony's doing. Like, I mean, I don't. Again, talking about things out of pocket, I don't want to like talk like I know, but think about it. If you sign somebody for a few months, you use them in some storylines, it either works or it doesn't, right?
It's almost like a tryout.
And then you decide from there. 3 months, to me, 3 months is a little short. I think maybe you should do like half a year, 5 months or something like that because, for instance, Leo Rush, he only got paired with Dante Martin. He really didn't get to do anything else. So if that doesn't get over, it's like, okay, well, that just basically used up his whole time to get over. But for his case, I think that it was not just... Obviously, he's a very talented wrestler, super, like, talented individual, but it's always, with him, it's the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Always. Like in every company he's been in.
But like, okay, here's the thing though. I respect. It's gonna sound like I'm contradicting myself, but all I'm saying is, I think it's cool, like it's badass that he stood up for his friend and he was like, I don't think this is right. I'm going to do this. I'm just saying, then what happens is the guy that pays you is probably not going to want to work with you anymore. It has nothing to do with whether I think what he did was wrong or right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, unfortunately, you can't yell at your boss like that and then expect that he's going to be cool with it.
Imagine someone doing that to Vince and be like, see ya.
That-
calling out Vince on Twitter,
people-
like, not happening.
Well, let's be honest. Vince probably doesn't even run his own Twitter
That's
account.
true.
So, yeah, what was
Definitely
there?
doesn't.
Is there any other contracts coming up? Joey Janela.
Peter Avalon,
I
aka
feel
the
bad for
librarian.
him because in the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, well, no disrespect to him, but
Dude, he's been there since
He's
day
not high
one,
enough
though.
for you.
it's time, dude.
Yeah.
I know, but it's
They never did anything with him.
and
Yeah.
but Joey Janela I kind of feel bad for because he kind of said from the beginning that he apparently had a conversation with Jim Ross that he didn't want to just be a hardcore wrestler and he was wanted to evolve into a different style, and it seemed like people were behind him in the beginning.
He lost a bunch of
and
weight at one point, I
He
think.
kind of fell off, and I mean, he looks great now. He's doing great in GCW. He's having a feud with Matt Cardona about basically like Chelsea Green, and is she really in love with him? And it's silly, but I mean, he looks great. So I mean, I hope things work out for him. I think that there was something there. It just when you had all these other stars come along, he didn't really get the chance to do what he needed to do. And also, it's hard to outshine people like Darby Allin, MJF, Hangman Page. Like, I hope everything works out for him and he continues to do well.
Yeah, I would say just one other person, if you want to mention real quick, is Brian Cage.
Oh, yeah.
His contract's coming up. And they really
I can see Vince signing
didn't do
him.
much at all except for Team Taz stuff. Yeah.
So Brian Cage though has been very vocal, and so has his. I don't know if it's his wife or his wife. Yeah. How they're very disappointed about his run, and how can look at this guy? How can you look at this guy and not? How is he not the main event? Blah blah.
Vince
blah.
will find a way.
He's very boring to me.
I think Brian Cage is a good worker. Look, he's extremely athletic for a guy that his build and his muscle, like the things he does is incredible. He's very influenced by Chris Kanyon, but I think the modern day wrestling fan, like, just because you're jacked, man, like that doesn't really. If an AEW, okay, maybe in WWE he would do better, right? Because they still kind of like that.
Or they would book him better.
An AEW fan is like yeah. But an AEW fan is like a hardcore wrestling fan, right? So like, just because you're jacked, that I don't think that's going to impress an AEW fan. But in WWE, in that world, he might look more impressive.
I agree.
Yeah, I always wonder like why he was never signed to WWE before, because he always with Impact.
I mean, Impact's the only place I ever knew him.
Gosh,
like main promotion.
So
wise.
I'm assuming, but can't you see him on? I can see Brian Cage on NXT 2.0.
Oh yeah.
Like that character on NXT
I was gonna say
2.0,
Raw
I
and
can
SmackDown.
see.
But they don't want to sign anyone that's
But
already.
I'm just saying, like if you went that direction, I can.
Remember, they don't want to sign anyone that's like already been a star somewhere else. For NXT, that is not necessarily like the main roster.
He looks great. Vince will see that guy, and he'll probably tell him to shave his sideburns off, and then
Give him a name change.
Vince just needs to see his shoulder muscles.
yeah, if you have the Brock, Batista, Bobby Lashley shoulders, you're in.
Yeah. Those
Yeah,
neck
what are
muscles.
the traps? The traps. Yeah.
They'll give him a name change.
You got that? he's going to do something with you.
A 5-year deal.
Go on a winning streak. You'll crush everybody for like a year.
Like I said, give him a name change, and that brings
That's
us
the model
to. They'll give him a name change, and that brings us to the next thing I want to talk about, though, is Walter. Walter's new name.
Excuse me. Who?
Walter's new name is now Gunther.
No, it's not.
Why are they doing this? Why would you do this?
Or the thing is, I watched that episode.
What the hell?
I
Is your
watched that
problem?
episode of.
That's what I like.
I watched that episode of NXT, and
That's
earlier in the night when they're promoting the match against Roderick Strong, it says Walter, and then by the end of the night, they change it and announce it like during the match. And even
They must have got the trademark during it.
well, apparently there was some controversy with Gunther. I think it was going to be Gunther Stark or something. Is actually like the name of some old World War II captain, and that was a problem. But they said screw it and filed it anyway. So he's still Gunther. So yeah, I think it's terrible.
Like, are you sure we shouldn't change this? I just googled it.
Well, the last thing you want to do is tell Vince McMahon that he can't do something because that's just going to make him do it.
They're like, Vince, it's literally a Nazi's name though, and he's like, we'll make it work.
He's like, I've fought God, pal. Who cares?
So I don't know how much we can talk about this, but I think it's a terrible idea.
I mean, I know.
So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I know we'll get into it later, but
There's
Cody
this-
kind of made fun of him.
There is another wrestling podcaster who I cannot wait to hear their take.
Motherfucker.
They're a big fan of Walter. Motherfucker, I know they're a big fan of Walter, and I can't wait to hear how bummed he is about what they did to him.
But yeah, that was the couple things I wanted to talk about before actually getting into shows. Do you guys want to hop into Raw?
Yeah.
All right. There was only one thing I wanted to talk about with Raw this week. Seth Rollins was on the Kevin Owens show, and during it, they're like buddy right now. But during it, Owens declares himself in the Royal Rumble, and he says when he wins the Rumble, they get to give the WWE Universe the biggest WrestleMania main event of all time. So Owens basically saying that if he wins, he's going after Seth's title. Now, we did see these two wrestle each other at WrestleMania. That was like the first pandemic WrestleMania when they did it inside the Performance Center or whatever. If you guys remember, Owens jumped off the sign.
Right.
And stuff,
yeah.
but yeah, so I don't know if this tension and stuff is going to end up making their friendship quote unquote break up or something, but I don't think it would be a bad night 1 main event or night 2, 3, 4 whatever have you. But it'd be interesting. I like both guys right now, especially compared to where they were when they had their match at Mania during the pandemic. So, any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I like. What does he go by? Seth Rollins.
He's the visionary, but he's also the drip
what's his
god.
nickname, like drip god. Drip. Yeah. I really like. Excuse me, his kind of like gimmick right now, and
Big
everything
fan.
about him.
Don't like the laugh,
And,
but big fan of it.
Yeah, the laugh is horrible. But him and Kevin Owens, oh my God, that was too accurate.
How about you, Tim?
But him and Kevin Owens are great. And I feel like Kevin Owens is always with someone who they're gonna like end up being really good friends, and they're gonna end up breaking up at some point.
I mean, one of my favorite
He just has really good chemistry.
One of my favorite
with them.
pair ups was him and Jericho. I mean, that was amazing back in the day. So, I am pulling for Rollins to win against Roman. So we'll have to see where this goes. But yeah, Tim, any thoughts on this?
again, it's weird just like knowing that with Owens that he re-signed and everything. I'm cool with it. Yeah, I don't really have one feeling one way or another about honestly this segment.
If he did beat Rollins, say at Mania or something, I always liked him as Universal Champion during his like half a year run.
I thought his run ended prematurely, so I would like to see it. And maybe when he re-signed, he was like, "Look, you need to put me in the main event. I need to get the title, something."
Yeah, so I mean, I think fans would like it, but that's just me.
It would feel fresh if he was champion.
Yeah,
I love Kevin Owens. He's great.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about with Raw. We can get straight into Dynamite. This is a pretty big Dynamite, I feel like. A lot of things happened. A lot of good promos.
Dynamite was so nice, I watched it twice.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
But yeah, so the show opened up. Jon Moxley returned and was looking great, super healthy. He talked to the crowd about his demons. And what he said, like the only thing he drinks now is blood or something like that. But yeah, he's looking great. It's really good to see him back. The crowd was behind him. You know, like I said, there's before and after photos out there. If you just didn't notice how he looked before, but there's a drastic change in the way he looks now. He looks great.
Crazy.
Oh, he looks awesome. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, what you guys think though?
I sent it to my wife, and she was like, he looks like 10 years younger. Yeah. And I was like, I know. It's crazy.
I'll just say the quick thing about when he first got into the ring, and then that. So I don't know. I don't understand people why they would buy a ticket to a wrestling event and then heckle.
Oh, so that guy right in the beginning.
Like, what the
in a way
hell?
of like
he said, "Get this piece of trash out of the ring."
He said, "What did he say? Something about."
Yeah, he said, "Get this piece of trash out of the ring," and
then Moxley.
John's basically like, "Fuck you," and then like, "Get him out of here."
Get this guy out of here.
Yeah,
he was like, he said, "Get this piece of trash out of the ring." He was like, "Oh yeah, we'll get this guy out of here."
So, God, I mean, to be the one guy,
I don't understand why people do that.
To be the one guy in the whole like arena to do that, everyone was probably just like, "What the? Get the fuck out of here, dude!" Like,
like you're that guy.
Yeah,
it's very odd to hear one person when there's like thousands of people in the arena.
Yeah, it's
God.
Yeah, the rest of the promo was awesome though.
Yeah. So it's good to see him back. After that,
ironic that a dude. Oh, hang on. I just want to get this out because fuck that guy. It's ironic that a guy that just got back from rehab and is
getting yelled at by a drunk fan
for himself. A drunk asshole. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, completely right. After that, we had MJF and Wardlow backstage. MJF tells Wardlow, I guess because he lost to CM Punk, that he has to dock his pay, if I'm correct. Tim watched it twice, so filling any gaps.
I kind of love that. I love this segment. So MJF plays it off great. He's like, I just want to apologize to you because it's your birthday and I owe you that. And then he's like, but I can't just let you do that. Or, I can't let you just talk to me or do whatever you want. So for that,
put your hands on
your
me.
Pet. And then he like turns around and like looks at the camera. Yeah. And then, dude, Wardlow's, I mean, this is long-term story build. I like it. It's good.
It's going to be awesome. And the thing I love when MJF says the thing like, I'm better than you and you know it. He says, I'm better than you. And then he kind of turns towards Wardlow and puts his hand on and you know it. Yeah.
So this is, to me, kind of reminiscent of Evolution, where Batista is the silent giant, right? And then finally Triple H just keeps pissing him off, and finally Batista like powerbombs him through the table and they challenge him for the title. I kind of feel like there's a similar vibe of like the quiet big man who finally is going to snap and just destroy the leader. Which, come on, that's definitely what's going to happen.
No, I mean,
I can't wait.
The writing's on the wall with all that stuff. So after that segment, we had our first match of the night. It was the first ever mixed tag team match: Adam Cole and Britt Baker versus Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander. Winners were Adam Cole and Britt Baker. I mean, who didn't see that coming? But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good match. Nothing crazy, but it was cool to see them team up together for the first time.
That was a fun match. I thought they did pretty cool spots from like each one of them, and like the Orange Cassidy, like I don't know what you call it, like the shtick that he does, the same joke as Tim, as you say over and over again. I thought it kind of worked in this match. Like I actually liked it. Like when like Statlander did the backflip off the apron, and he just kind of like fell on Cole. Like that kind of made me laugh a little bit.
Can we get Adam Cole away from this now? Can you do something else? Why isn't Adam Cole challenging in the main event for some? You know what I mean? What the hell's going on? Why is he fighting Orange Cassidy?
They have a lights out match next week or this week or something.
It's Adam Cole.
Baby.
He was the NXT champion, like the longest reigning. And what is happening?
I don't know, man. He's pairing it up with Freshly Squeezed.
I'm just saying. Why? He should literally be doing anything else.
Pairing up with Pockets.
Well, this whole best friends and elite thing. Yeah. This whole best friends and elite feud overall has been pretty awful. Like the elite has won like every single match except for like one.
Yeah, it's definitely like one-sided.
If you're watching on video right now, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, Jeremy's wearing an AEW shirt. I'm wearing an AEW hat. We like AEW, but dude, some things aren't good, and I'm just gonna like put it out there.
I don't even know what to say.
And everybody, I feel like people pretend. No, people pretend that it is.
No, I mean I don't like it either.
Well,
but
speaking of what's not good, Andy, you want to go to this next segment?
Well, I mean, so after this match, we had Chris Jericho and Proud and Powerful backstage. There seems to be some tension between them and Jericho. This isn't the segment you're talking about, right? Because I don't think anything bad.
No, I am with like Jericho's GFY and also the ending.
Oh,
like that he was like, "No, I don't feel you."
That was
tried to be like
awful.
Just like he's like the dad that's learning the lingo. He's just like
Yeah.
And he has like black leather gloves on. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. It's just not working for Jericho right now. I don't know what he's doing.
He's floating, but dude, he's making so much money. He probably doesn't even care.
It's all good. Just I wish some of the stuff.
He's just waiting for that next.
Some of the stuff he says on TV lately have just been terrible.
I'll be coming. Judas in.
So after that, we have another backstage segment. It's Adam Cole. So apparently during the match, Orange Cassidy, put his hands on Britt Baker, but it was a complete accident, really. Adam Cole thought it was serious, so that's when they announced what you talked about, Jeremy. Adam Cole versus Orange Cassidy next week, lights out match at Beach Break. One of those mini.
I didn't even know Beach Break.
Yeah, that's.
They just announced it next week.
Yeah, I think we all found out about it this week.
What the hell is a Beach Break?
It's a mini live pay-per-view on TBS, basically. One of their things they do. Kind of like Winter is Coming kind of thing.
Yeah.
So after that...
Okay.
But this one has no build.
After that... yeah, absolutely none.
There's like always a good AEW pay. There's always good AEW pay-per-views, and there's always like random ass ones with the like Fighter Fist, and you're like, I don't know if I like. Do I want to watch this? I don't know.
At least they haven't done that stuff in a while. Like the Fighter Fest, like when they first did it, and I was like, "What is this? This is like a gimmick off of like the fake one."
Yeah. And why is Jay Lethal on AEW Dark? But that's a question for another time. We're moving on.
So we have a video package for Shawn Spears and CM Punk, and then that leads us to the match between CM Punk and Shawn Spears. I can't wait to get into this, but the winner was CM Punk. It was very quick. Afterwards, MJF tries to sneak up, but Punk ends up, stopping him, and he grabs his scarf, and MJF gets out the ring. But yeah, Tim, how'd you feel about CM Punk, Shawn Spears?
CM Punk made quick work of the jabroni Shawn Spears, and apparently, Shawn Spears' wife is not
Cassidy
happy
Lee
about
was not
it, and
happy.
even tweeted, "Oh, come on." Yeah, she tweeted, "Oh, come on," and then put a bunch of poop emojis.
This was
I
so
loved it.
awesome. Like, I love how they did a video package to hype up this match, and then they had like Punk come out, or Shawn Spears should say first, and then he's like, "All right, they're building up. MJF was on commentary," and he's like, "Watch this," and then 10 seconds in, it's over. And like, I laughed so hard when MJF was like, "Kick, kick, kick!" Like the entire time he was getting pinned.
Yeah. This was my favorite match of the night. I loved it.
It was like 5 seconds. So after that, we had Billy Gunn backstage. He confronts Christian, trying to get a tag team match for his sons, the Gun Club.
The Ass Boys.
God damn it! He's trying to get a tag team championship match against Jurassic Express, and that's Christian.
What? It's Billy Ass and the
This
Ass
is
Boys.
true.
What the hell?
This is true.
Just wait till Danhausen shows up, and we're gonna be naming. Everyone.
But during this segment, didn't
Ass
Christian say something to Billy Gunn like he could never get the big matches or like the main event matches, something like that? Just kind of
Yeah.
insulting. But then after that,
And he
slaps him, and then the Gun Club
Yeah, he
attacks
slaps
him, and just kind of leaves him outside.
And then the Ass Boys, the Ass Boys run out and start attacking him.
So Austin Ass and Cole Ass start attacking. While their father Billy Ass watches. But after that, we had one of the better segments of the night. Actually, I thought might be my favorite segment of the night was Cody Rhodes returned. A lot of things were said during this promo. He talks about CM Punk's pipe bomb promo from years ago. He said he did the things that Punk couldn't. Kind of like, I guess, the things that Punk had talked about in that pipe bomb promo. He talked about why he won't turn heel. Trying to think what
I hated this, but we'll get into it.
What was his reason again, though, for not turning heel? What was
What's
the
that?
reason he gives for not turning heel? I'm trying to remember.
He shouldn't have said that. It was stupid.
All
I
right.
hated it.
What did he say?
He said he won't turn heel because the fans were there when he needed them the most, like during New Japan and Ring of Honor and everything. And then
I hated how he talked about turning heel. I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell? I was like, why would you say that?
It's such a Cody promo, though.
It's so lame.
So after the heel part, he talks about how he built the Forbidden Door. Then fans actually started chanting Cody, which was surprising.
Okay, this part was good. The part where he talked
Oh,
about
you like
how...
this part where he talked about the Forbidden Door? It's the same
like-
thing as a heel turn.
No, but he said the word. He's like, "You want to know why I won't turn heel?" I was like, "No, because you're not supposed to be saying this."
He talks about how the Bucks. He talks about how the Bucks almost started the Wednesday Night Wars. He doesn't need to see the Bucks beat the Developmental once again. Talking about like Red Dragon.
I didn't like that either. I was like, dude, I do want to see that match. What the hell?
And then he talks about Ricky Stark.
This promo was so hot and cold.
He talks about Ricky Starks getting involved with Jay Lethal, and he says to avoid Jay Lethal. He talks a little bit about Malachi Black. He says,
Well, he'd have to come off dark to.
"Oh, I
avoid
like
him.
this part." This part, he says he's not in the business of renaming people like Gunner McBillabuddy or whatever the hell it is. Talking about Gunther, I believe.
That was a good one.
After that, he talks about Brody King. He says the balls that come into AEW named Brody. See what a mistake it was in 8 years. I'm guessing when Junior is all grown up. But then he mentions Brody Lee, Darby Allin, Miro, and Sammy, and talks about the legacy of the TNT Championship. He says he's been we've been conditioned that any title that doesn't have the name World in front of it is secondary, and he says we don't have secondary belts. I don't know how 100% true that is, but that's for everyone's own opinion.
I mean, he's the one who has the TNT title.
He's got a TNT title of a channel they're not even on.
Right. And he said, so then there's a ladder in the ring. He says at Beach Break there's going to be a ladder match to unify the TNT championships, and then afterwards fans are clapping. So I don't know. I can't tell if the fans like him now or not, but yeah, there were some things that were like, why would you say that? And then there were some cool things he said during this promo.
Yeah. How tall was that ladder?
It looked really tall.
It was the biggest ladder I've ever seen.
Yeah, it looked tall as shit.
It was like a 30-foot ladder.
The hard cam couldn't even get the top of it when he was shooting the whole time. That's crazy. I don't know, Tim, do you want to go first on this one?
What, on the promo?
Yeah.
Yeah, my review of the promo was it was hot and cold. He had me, then he lost me. And then he had me, and then he said the word or said the sentence, "You want to know why I won't turn heel?" And I was like, now you've really lost me. And then he jumped back on track, and then I was kind of into it again for a second. I don't even know how to feel.
Yeah, it was a weird promo. Like, I think the good thing about it was that he turned the crowd. Like, the crowd was booing him so much when he first started. And they
Picture
really
MJF being like, "You want to know why I won't turn babyface?"
Right.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I just thought it was cool that he actually turned the crowd around.
No, he did. He did.
Yeah, until next week when they forget about the promo. And he's going up against Sami. Fans are going to be rooting for Sami. But after this, we had a backstage segment. John Silver, a.k.a. Johnny Hungy, Anna Jay, Mark Sterling, and Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill and Mark Sterling accept Anna Jay's challenge for the TBS Championship on this coming Rampage. And then John Silver calls Anna Jay Anna Hungy. So that was kind of funny to me. It was kind of funky to me, but so then we had a tag match: Kings of the Black Throne, Malachi Black and Brody King versus Varsity Blondes, Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison. All right, I remembered your name this week instead of just other guy in Varsity Blondes.
Other guy with blonde hair.
What's the girl's name?
Julia Hart. Yeah.
All right, there we go.
The winners, no surprise, Kings of
Johnny Baba Ganoush.
Winners, no surprise though, Kings of the Black Throne. Afterwards, Black gets on the mic, says, "Members of House of Black, please rise." Then there's a video from Pac pops up on the screen. Pac says he's incorruptible, and that he's going to make a martyr out of Malachi Black. So, who knows when that will happen because of travel issues with Pac coming over from the UK. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see with that. How'd you guys think of, or what you guys think of Kings of the Black Throne's debut? How do they work as a team?
Oh, when they first came out, I was like, "This is their entrance and look is so cool." Like,
they fit together.
Like they came out, and I was like, "They look awesome. They're like a badass team." And they go in the ring, and it's like they're ready to fight, and they both look, like they should be matched together. Really, I was kind of laughing when the Varsity Blondes music hits, and then they come running out. It's like the polar opposite of what just came out. I was like, "Oh,
it's the goth kids beating up the jocks in high school."
It's like it's not gonna go. Yeah,
the jocks.
Yeah. But I thought it was really cool. They have an awesome name, and just like the member, like when he said the members of House of Black, please rise, and then everyone actually did in the stands. That was really cool.
That was sick.
So after that, we had a video package for Lance Archer and Hangman Adam Page. Then we had Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero backstage. They challenged the Young Bucks to one more match against Roppongi Vice for the last time. I've only ever seen one match of theirs. I think it was a either 4-way tag match or a 3-way tag match, but it was on a Wrestle Kingdom. Actually, Bucks ended up winning, I believe, but I think might have seen them team up before on AEW. I'm not sure, but yeah. So they want one more match with the Young Bucks for like old time's sake kind of thing. So that'll be fun if you followed them before.
Well, it's too bad it didn't happen.
Didn't happen or it won't happen now?
Oh, that on Rampage because Rocky got.
Okay, that's what I thought you were. That's what I thought you were
trying
getting
to
at. So that was supposed to be at Rampage.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I got.
No, you're fine. So then we had a match: Frankie Kazarian versus Lance Archer. The winner was Lance Archer. Dan Lambert gets on the mic, then Archer gets on the mic. He attacks Kazarian afterwards, and then Hangman comes out to save Kazarian, and Hangman and Archer end up fighting. Guys, look, I'm just not into Lance Archer. I'm not into him feuding with Hangman Adam Page. I don't know what it is. I've never really cared for him since, he's been in AEW, but
yeah, I feel the same.
I kind of want his feud with Hangman to be over with
that
as quick as possible. What are your guys' thoughts?
That match with Lance Archer should have been like 5 minutes, and then that happened afterwards. This match took forever.
Yeah, I think it was at least like 2 commercial breaks.
Yeah, I didn't dig this. I didn't dig this at all, to be honest with you.
Well, if we're on agreement with that, then I can move on to the next thing. Because, I'm just not a fan. Dante Martin, Lee Moriarty, and Matt Sydal are backstage. They're talking about watching each other's backs. And this is in response to Team Taz, because right after this, Hobbs and Ricky Starks respond in a backstage segment. Then we have another backstage segment. It's Chris Statlander and Red Velvet. Layla Hirsch interrupts, says if only Chris had the same focus for their match from the last Rampage, which I believe was a trios match. And then Layla attacks them. After that, we had a match between Sky Blue, who I've never seen before, but Sky Blue versus Serena Deeb. Winner was Serena Deeb. I think Hikaru Shida is busy overseas, so if we don't get match number 10 with them. Afterwards, we have the Men of the Year and Dan Lambert backstage. Ethan Page wants to take on Moxley on Rampage this Friday. That video package of Roppongi Vice and Young Bucks kind of going through, their old matches on the Indies and in New Japan and stuff. So kind of, I guess, to familiarize people with them if they didn't know them before. I thought it was kind of cool. But then we had a kind of a random video package for Hook. And then after that, we had the Hardy family and Andrade backstage. Matt has agreed to sell 50% of HFO to Andrade. Matt will be CFO and Andrade will be president, and they are now called the AHFO. So,
wasn't it 51%?
Is it 50? Okay,
because Andrade has it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's a lot of filler on this show.
Just a quick note on this part, at least what I have heard. So Andrade has 51% of this. So obviously he's a heel, and he's gonna take everything basically away from Matt, and then he's only gonna have Private Party, So the thing is, Private Party and Matt are on the board of whatever this is, and so that's the reason why he sold on 51%. But everyone's thinking Private Party is going to turn on Matt, and then Matt's going to be by himself, and Jeff will debut with him.
I mean, if that's the long-term plan, cool.
Bizarre.
If that's a long-term plan, cool. I'm down. But if not, why are they doing this?
Just makes no
stop.
sense.
So Andrade is good, but they don't know what to do with him.
AEW sometimes is like a crab cake for all my Maryland people out there. It's like sometimes a good crab cake, there's crab meat in there, it's good stuff, but sometimes there's just like a lot of filling in there, and you're like, it's like why can't you just put all crab meat?
AEW and crap games. All right.
So
That's what Maryland does.
So the main event of the show was Sting and Darby Allin versus the Acclaimed. Before the match, or before the bell even rings, they incapacitate Darby. Most of the match is Sting versus the Acclaimed. Some of the spots Sting did, I'm surprised he did. I remember one spot he like ran off the stage onto a table, like through, I forget which member it was, but in the end, Darby, kind of comes back and he wins it for the team in the end. So your winners were Darby Allin and Sting. What you guys think?
Sting is 62 years old.
He's old. I don't know.
Crazy.
He can get AARP.
Yeah, so he has to keep wrestling. I thought this was amazing by Sting. Like,
I mean, it was him like the whole match.
Because
he
first
did
time.
all the legwork.
Yeah,
Here's
I mean, I think
Rob Schamberger.
Yeah, there you go.
And
You're welcome, Tim. I did buy you that.
Yeah, it was insane. I mean, we got like T-shirt Sting, so we wasn't really sure how it was gonna go, but he was amazing in this. And Darby, the comeback also at the end was like they felt like stars in AEW. And they claimed, I mean,
my question
they
is,
did
how
really
long
well
can
too,
this
for
team
their
go
part.
on for before like Darby starts doing single stuff again? Or I'm just
or just one turn on him. Sinclair
seems like
must
you know why I haven't gone heel.
You mean before Darby's dad has to go retire?
Sting's like, you know why I haven't gone heel? Sinclair hasn't
Um,
come to me yet.
But yeah, that wrapped up Dynamite this week. Unless you guys have any more thoughts on it.
No, this wasn't one of my favorite episodes, and I don't know. I think
Double check
watched
and
it
make sure you
twice,
didn't
really,
like it
just
as
so I
much.
could have a better review. No, I just wanted to like re-see some stuff, especially with Moxley. So
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Shawn
It's like I
Spears.
watched that again over and over.
no, I mean
on replay.
I could watch him.
Yeah.
So that
This might be his last episode of Dynamite, hopefully.
So that brings us this week, and the only thing I wanted to talk about was the opening segment, really. And that was the Roman Reigns celebration. So Roman Reigns is now the longest reigning Universal Champion. At the time of SmackDown, it was 508 days. So he's at 510 at the time of this recording. Didn't realize it's been that long, by the way, since he became champion. Like, holy shit. But no, not at all. Like, Jesus.
It doesn't feel that way.
So I think before him it was Brock for the longest reigning Universal Champion. I mean, there haven't been that many. But during this segment, Seth Rollins interrupts. He calls Reigns the chosen one, and everything was handed to him, and he's been catered to. When talking about the Usos, he says they're the cornerstone of the bloodline. They're the ones that hold you up, just like me and Mox did in the Shield. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on him calling Ambrose Mox on SmackDown television. Do you think it was a mistake? Do you think, I don't know what it could have been. Do you think he got, if it was a mistake, do you think he got in trouble? I mean,
I liked it.
If it was written in there, I liked it. Good on the writers, but. Okay.
No, I think he did that, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Which is funny. It's funny he did that
you have to-
right in the week that like Mox returns from being healthy and all that.
I think that's why also.
So after that, he challenges the Usos to a tag match. If he wins, the Usos are banned from ringside at the Rumble. And Usos say that no one in the back likes him enough to team with them. But then Kevin Owens comes out, who isn't on SmackDown, so he wouldn't be a star in the back. But then Roman Reigns, ups the ante and says if Rollins loses the tag match, he loses his match at the Rumble, and then Roman Reigns gets to go on a much-needed vacation till WrestleMania. The main event, though, in the end, Roman came out and Superman punched Rollins, which got the Usos disqualified. So he kind of just sealed his fate with wrestling Rollins at the Rumble anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed in the ending. I was like, after all
that was that. That's all SmackDown I felt like needed to really be talked about this week. If there's nothing else on your guys' end, we can go into Rampage. Just two things, really two matches actually I want to talk about. First was the opening match, Jon Moxley versus Ethan Page. The story being told throughout this match was that, Moxley is leaner. He hasn't wrestled in 3 months. He might not be in ring shape. Because Ethan Page during this match kind of like took it to him and was in control, I felt like, most of the match. But in the end, Moxley won by submission with a bulldog choke, which I haven't seen him done. If he has done it, I guess it's rare. But he didn't beat him with a paradigm shift or anything like that, or the DDT. But what I want to talk about was afterwards, as he's walking back through one of the entrances, Bryan Danielson is just waiting for him and is just clapping. And so I think in the future, maybe sometime soon, we're going to get a Moxley-Danielson match. I think that'll be good. But what you guys think of the Mox's first match back? What do you think about the future with Danielson and him possibly?
I really like how Moxley, like, he looks so much better. I know we said that before, but even like wrestling here, it just looks like he moves better and everything about him is, more in shape. Even though maybe, I don't know how often he's got in ring shaped before, but he looked good here. And then Bryan Danielson and him, it's kind of funny because I know everyone's going to say like, oh, it's two WWE guys facing each other, but these are two totally different wrestlers.
Well, they also don't have the restrictions when it comes to how they wrestle, like within like Danielson wrestles completely different than he did like in WWE.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I'd like to see the match. I think Danielson said something about it.
Yeah,
I read. He's kind of looking forward to wrestling Moxley. How about you, Tim? That's what it was. Yeah. How do you think? How do you feel, Tim?
Moxley.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the match. I think that it's going to be different than something that we saw under the WWE umbrella. But as far as this match goes, no, I'm really happy for Moxley. He looks great. He's moving around really good. He looks a lot leaner. Just looks healthy. I hope he continues to do well. It was cool. It was good to see him.
The last thing I wanted to talk about for the show was we talk about it every time, every match he has. Send Hook. So Hook had a match against Serpentico. I believe this is his 5th match. So now, So winner was Hook. He's pretty quick. He did some tosses to him. Hook's weirdly strong. Like, he's not like a huge buff guy, but he's like weirdly crazy strong. He won, and afterwards, Cutie Marshall or Marshall, I don't know. They say it differently all the time on the show. Comes out, talks some smack to Hook, says, "What, are you gonna cheap shot me like last time?" And Hook just, I forget what kind of suplex it is, but he suplexes him on the stage and then just walks straight back through the tunnel. And so, for you those that watch the match, what you think? I love watching Hook's matches. And now they have the Hook shirt. It doesn't just say Hook. Awesome. It says by the K, it says "Send" in orange, like font.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's awesome.
I love buying into like stuff like this. It's so funny.
So that wrapped up Rampage.
Yeah.
Oh, go on, Jeremy. Sorry.
I love how during the match too. Oh.
No,
sorry, I was going to say this one last thing. When during the match, he didn't even let
Serpentico,
Serpentico, like out of his kimono, and like Chris Jericho kept saying it the entire time. He's like, he's still in his kimono. Was it whatever it's called? I forget it. What it was. exactly. But it's like he also had the streamers all over him. And Hook's just suplexing him all over the ring. That was pretty cool.
Well, can you guys believe that we've been here for 20 episodes?
Yes.
Crazy. Yes. Yes. I can believe it. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's flown by. But we appreciate everybody listening. Please follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the PW Fan. Follow Andy's Funko Pop collection at the 410 Fan Bros on Instagram. We appreciate everybody that has been with us since episode 1. If you're still here on episode 20, that is absolutely incredible. Don't forget, we're on YouTube now. Full video podcast available of this episode. Thanks again, and join us next week on episode 21, where we talk about all things pro wrestling and the PW.